Madonna name herself Madonna? And then put on this show in Vanity Fair that she is the Virgin Mary. Why would she do that? What's her point? Dark? She might be dark, she might be satanic, who knows, who cares? It's just Hollywood. Why? What is she doing? Because it's a powerful thing. So you can take something that's powerful, right? And you can use it for good, you can use it for bad, it can be neutral, right? These are all symbols. They're power symbols. They represent the feminine. When you think of feminine in our cultures, you go to Madonna. She's the mother principle, right? So when you go into cultures like Egypt, you have Isis. Okay, you always have a goddess somewhere along the way, right? You have Venus, you have Aphrodite. And then in the Christian world, you have Madonna. Unless you want to have Magdalene, who you can have your own beliefs about Mary Magdalene, right? But she's also Mary. So we have two Marys, lots of Marys. Okay. Anyway, my point is that our culture today reveres the past. And they use the past as a control system. All right? This was also a control system. There's different systems because, why? Because it's imagery, it's iconography. The most powerful thing is iconography. An image is worth more than 1,000 words, right? Okay, so this time that we're in, which is unlike any other. So now we're going to talk about early Christianity. We're going to talk about the medieval times, which they call the Dark Ages. The Templars, the Cathars, the Essenes, is another name for them too. And the church. Church. Okay, church didn't exist. There's no church. Okay, the Pantheon is not a church. It's a temple. Okay? Now, in Judaism, they use the word temple. And I know some other religions use the word temple. But the church concept of going in and praying and all of these things, even though it is borrowed, yes, from things like the Pantheon, it's a little different, right? It's a little different. It actually begins in an underground city in Turkey. This is one of the first churches to ever appear. Early medieval, here you have the dates. So basically, we're going to be talking about a huge span of time, and it's very hard to make it chronological, okay? So it's very hard to go, the birth of Christ, the Crusades, okay? So the Crusades are about 1200, 1300, okay, in that range. The death of Christ he was age 33. I quote, because time span, we're talking 1,000 years, 1,500 years, that's what we're looking at right now, 1,500 years of time. So it's kind of hard when you're looking at history to zero in on certain time dates until the turn of the century after the count. Then we get to go, oh, it was 1910 when this happened, right? And we don't have that luxury here. We're just looking at a huge span of time. The Renaissance also is its own time. But we're not there yet. Okay. So I'm going to show you this video. And I talked about that. So I'm going to go back. There's this video, Did Jesus Exist? Now, I'm not actually going to show you this video. It's actually quite interesting. It goes through all of the evidence that points to his existence through art. But there's so many theories and so many stories that it's a very sensitive subject. But if you're interested in looking at it from a historical perspective, it's a pretty good video. It's pretty neutral, okay? So, I'm going to talk through this video a little bit, okay? I'm going to stop and show you it's 45 minutes long. So I'm going to stop and show you pieces of it, and then we're going to talk about it, and I'm going to pause it again, and we're going to talk about it, okay? This is Turkey, all right? Now, underground in Turkey are massive, massive cities, all right? So we're going to look at this for a second. This is where you find your very first church, but not yet, because this area has been borrowed upon for a very long time. Okay, so let's go ahead and watch a little bit.
This is the first monastery of the world. And